Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
Hello everybody, this is Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show. And we got a really special guest today. We have a friend Alvin here. And we're going to have a special day today because one of my favorite authors is Arnold Ehret. I talk about him all the time, and it appears that there's a lot of things that Arnold Ehret left behind. Some of them are even unpublished manuscripts. So we're going to take a look at these today. But can you tell us, Alvin, how you came upon these things you're going to show us here today?
Several years ago, probably 25 or 30, we bought a company that manufactured kind of health food items. With that came Ehret's possessions. We didn't know who he was or what they were, and it took us a couple, maybe 5 years before we really delved into it, because we were not in the publishing business and didn't really understand it. But then as I read it, I became very interested in what Ehret said, the research he did on himself and other people, and he had cures and he helped people with just doing basic things that he took kind of for granted, but he was upset with it. One of the things in his unpublished writings, as I've had some of it translated for me, was that he said that Venus was beautiful because she held an apple. He said you can imagine what she would have looked like if she had a kielbasa in one hand and a beer in the other. Man had a sense of humor, but it always had a point.
Okay, so what do we got?
Well,
this is exciting, everybody. I've been waiting. I met Alvin years ago, and I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Okay.
This has certain things that are kind of interesting. This is Fred Hirsch.
Okay.
Fred was with Ehret when he died. They were coming out of a lecture in 1922. And Ehret, my guess is it was about 11 o'clock at night. It was Ehret, a woman who Fred could not identify because she was someone that came to the meeting, and there was Ehret. Ehret fell backward, and cracked the back of his head. He had what's called a basal fracture, which means you're dead on contact. Today it's the same thing. There's no cure for a basal fracture. Anyway, this is Fred with Albert Einstein.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Check that out. There he is.
And the cause and cure of human illness explains this photo. We've tried to identify who was who. Now, at this time in his life, Fred was single. So I believe the lady between the two gentlemen, is Einstein's wife. I don't know, I'm not sure who this gentleman was. So Fred had quite a bit of insight into it, and on Ehret's death certificate, which I have, I also have his original birth certificate. The death certificate, it shows Fred as the witness. And Fred then acquired everything that Ehret had. Ehret's family was still in Germany, and they were not in contact at all. So Fred inherited everything that Ehret had, and that's what I have now.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So let's see what you got.
Well, this is the original die. I don't know if you want to go into this kind of item.
We can see it. You know, give
Well,
a brief explanation if you want.
This is the original die for the cover that he used in his classes.
Wow. Okay. For the original cover, the typeset piece, and here's the original cover that made. Perfect.
And I have some of the covers. This was a plaque he had, and this is Ehretists. I usually take it out of the plastic.
It's all right. We could see it, or whatever you do.
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, you could take it out. Give it a shot.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. Okay. And was this and Professor Arnold Ehret wrote this?
Well, he signed it. I don't know when it was written. I know nothing really about it. I didn't discover it until I went through the material that I got through Fred.
Wow.
That's one of the original pictures.
That's an original picture.
Yeah, I have a couple more like that.
Okay. All right, here's an original picture of Arnold Ehret with his nice, healthy-looking beard.
Yeah, and hair.
And his hair.
I could probably
Big
date this
eyes.
for you if I had to. I may be able to date it for you. I'm going to turn it over. Nothing on the back. It's one of several pictures,
Wow. And
which I'll go into in a moment.
Hey, now
These are actually
here's the nitty-gritty here. Here it is.
these are actually some of the one of the original photographs,
Wow.
and it has that crack in it. Here's a mucusless diet.
Well, this-
It appears to be. I'm not sure. It looks like Spanish, but I'm not sure. And there's the picture that's really familiar and shows up in his books and on some covers. Yeah, and that's another original.
So these are original photographs of Professor Arnold Ehret.
And that's the company that did the photograph, the portrait. It was professionally done. Here's Ehret's birth certificate.
Original.
Original.
So upon your discoveries, you found here Arnold Ehret's original birth certificate from Germany.
Yes.
Wow, there's an original copy. So here's Arnold Ehret's official death certificate. And Alvin just told me the interesting thing here is the date is actually on the certificate wrong. It's the day after he died. But here you see it says teacher of dietetics.
And signed by Fred, or witnessed by
Witnessed
Fred.
by Fred Hirsch. Wow.
And Ehret died the night of the 9th. I estimated about 11:30 at the latest. It's just about how long the question after and the woman who followed him out with Fred. But by the time he got to the hospital or wherever they took him, I don't know, it was the next day. So they assumed, or they put the date down, that he arrived at the facility as the day he died, but he actually died on the street. Just nobody pronounced him dead.
Wow.
This is his obit.
So here we hear, how do you pronounce that?
Krankmenschen,
Krankenmenschen,
literally meaning sick person.
sick person. And this book has was found, and then and you got somebody to translate it.
Well, I received it from the stuff that Fred had. Now, this sanitarium, in those years, was in Massagno, which is a suburb of Lugano. And I actually went there and went to the town hall in a small village, and I had this book.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This This is the